Let's do a thought experiment. What if I told you about a brand new product, something really exciting, really useful, that everyone wants to own? It sounds great, right? The only catch is that the product sometimes kills people. Lots of people. Around 3,700 people a day and more than 1.3 million people a year. In fact, this product is so dangerous that it's the 8th leading cause of death worldwide. Would you still buy one? Of course, if you read the title of this video, you'll know that I'm setting you up for a not-so-clever reveal here, because the product I'm talking about isn't new at all. It's cars. Every statistic I just gave is a completely true fact about cars and car accidents. But when it comes to why cars are so dangerous, it turns out that accidents are just the tip of the iceberg, because cars suck. Let's talk about why. Cars as we know them today were invented in the 1880s and gained widespread popularity in the 1910s and 20s. This means they've been part of our society for roughly 100 years, and in that relatively short time, they've completely changed our world. From paved roads to highways, freeways, superhighways, and even parking lots, our cities and landscapes have been totally reshaped to accommodate the estimated 1.4 billion cars that are in the world today. But when I say that cars are changing our environment, I don't just mean the environment we can see. One of the biggest problems with cars is that they're changing the air we breathe. If your car isn't electric, then it emits some form of vehicle exhaust. This is true whether your car runs on gas or diesel, or if it's a hybrid. The proportions vary depending on the engine and the fuel, but vehicle exhaust is always a mix of water vapor, carbon dioxide, which we'll come back to in a minute, and numerous chemicals. And many of those chemicals are harmful or even poisonous to human beings. They include mercury, benzene, carbon monoxide, ozone, volatile organic compounds, and nitric acid, among others. While we can't see those toxic compounds for more than a few seconds after they leave a car's exhaust pipe, they don't disappear. Poisons from cars build up in the air we breathe and cause huge problems for pretty much everyone. A recent study found that vehicle emissions were directly responsible for 358,000 deaths worldwide in 2015. And that's not all deaths from air pollution. That's just from the exhaust emitted by cars and trucks. Unsurprisingly, most of these deaths occurred in the 4 largest car markets in the world: China, India, the European Union, and the United States. The deadly effect of car pollution is especially concentrated in cities. A 2021 Harvard study found that about 1,400 people in New York City die prematurely every year due to emissions from cars. Smaller places are also affected. At less than 3 million people, Toronto, Canada is a fairly small city by global standards, but studies show that pollution from cars there kills almost 300 Torontonians a year and sends more than 1,000 to hospital. So, what exactly are these emissions doing to us? Well, pollution from car exhaust raises the risk of heart attacks and strokes by damaging blood vessels and increasing the risk that blood clots will form in your arteries. Car exhaust also exacerbates existing lung conditions and asthma, and exposure to substances in the exhaust, such as nitric acid and benzene, increases the risk of lung cancer, leukemia, and blood cancers. Have I mentioned that cars suck? Because cars really suck. The health effects of car exhaust are sort of like the risks of smoking. When someone smokes, they put their own health in danger, but they also endanger others by exposing everyone around them to secondhand smoke. Driving is kind of the same. When you get behind the wheel, you're accepting the risk that you might be one of the 3,700 people who dies in a car accident every day, and that's your choice. But when you choose to drive, you're also putting everyone around you at risk by emitting exhaust that can make them very sick or even kill them. And that may be a normal part of our culture, but it's not great. Now, you might be wondering if being on the inside of a car protects you from some of the effects of car exhaust pollution. After all, the tailpipe is on the outside for a reason, right? But unfortunately, that's not the case. Studies show that the level of air pollution inside a car is 9 to 12 times higher than out on the road. This means that when you're driving or riding as a passenger, you're breathing in the exhaust of all the cars around you, along with your own. And that's especially bad news for children, who are often strapped in the back of a car on a daily basis and don't really have much say in the matter. Air pollution from cars has been shown to damage children's DNA, impair their ability to concentrate at school, stunt the growth of their lungs, and cause sensitization that can lead to asthma and other respiratory conditions. And it gets worse. Remember when I mentioned that a major component of car emissions is carbon dioxide? You probably know where I'm going with this. Cars actually emit 3 major greenhouse gases: carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, and methane. They all behave a little differently, but the effect is the same. These gases are rapidly building up in the atmosphere and causing the planet to heat up. Every liter of gas that a car burns releases about 2.3 kilograms of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. And with over 1 billion cars, each burning thousands of liters of gas every year, that number is adding up fast. We're already seeing the effects of global warming all around us, changing our weather patterns and causing severe floods, droughts, heat waves, and storms that claim more and more lives every year. We can't go on like this, and it's time to admit that cars are a big part of the problem. So what can we do about it? Well, the simplest answer is to drive less, or even better, to give up your car completely. But that can be easier said than done. Over the last 100 years, our society has become so intertwined with cars that for many people, giving theirs up is genuinely impossible. But what is possible for most people is to reduce your driving somewhat, whether by walking more, taking public transit, carpooling, or finding ways to combine your errands to make fewer trips. The key is to find something that works for your situation, and then to do it. And you might be wondering, why pick on cars in the first place? Aren't there other major sources of greenhouse gases and pollution to worry about? The answer is yes, absolutely. Power generation, industry, heating and cooling, shipping, agriculture. There are a lot of things we can look at when we're looking to reduce emissions. The reason I'm choosing to focus on cars here is simple. For most of us, our cars are something that's within our direct control. We can choose what kind of car we have, how much we drive it, and whether we drive at all. And the object of this video isn't to make you feel bad about driving. It's to empower you to make better choices. Choices about how you drive or don't drive that will impact your health, your family's health, and the planet we depend on. Because cars may suck, but taking care of the things that matter definitely doesn't.